Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to GameStar TV1. We're bringing you the HEYPALL Stage 1 playoff tonight, and we're into our second game of the second match. It is Element 6 versus Ninja Esports, and Element 6 right now leading by 4 points to 1 after that first game. LeBoy, take us into game number 2.
Game 2 being Frog Isle between these two teams. So the bans coming out, Androxus being the first one. I'm not sure which side it's going to be banned for. It does swap back and forth. It is a bit buggy. So, I mean, Andro is strong depending on A, the map, and B, who he's up against. So Frog Isle, he can work very, very easily. There's a lot of place for him to dash in and out of. He can take some high ground if he chooses to do so. A lot of flanking routes that he could possibly take. And then Nara, interestingly, banned. So that means there's a lot of freedom in terms of not only the supports, which as we saw, Ceres, who was banned, I think, earlier on, and also that allows them to take champs like Bomb King, Drogo straight off the bat. So normally they're ones that get banned. Also Eevee, one that can get banned as well. Drogo first picked for Ninja, and on the red side, E6 taking Bomb King and Makoa straight away. Ash being hovered, put on Ruckus, so it might have just been a bit of a misclick. Jevek has been doing quite well on Ruckus, and obviously last time out we didn't see him perform greatly on Victor, so going back to Ruckus is probably a wise choice, and taking Eevee would be another wise one as they lock him in. Lineberg, what are the rest of the predictions that you have for these matchups?
Really good draft so far. I really like the Ruckus. Ruckus is extremely awesome on this map, and probably one of my favorite maps to play Ruckus on altogether. Zambi picking up Maldama again. Obviously, this second double pick is where they need to look at picking up their support. Interesting to see if they're going to go with a double tank composition. A Barak would be pretty good here. Barak's really good at carrying that Drogos, does a lot of damage to Ruckus, and can also do good damage onto Eevee when she blinks in using that turret legendary. But we do see Charlene picked up, and then a Ying and a Fernando, which is interesting. Haven't really seen either of them in the meta too much lately, so I'm quite interested to see what they do here, what legendary they run on the Ying, the damage legendary, the double healing, or the explosion legendary.
That's quite an interesting set of picks. Ying and Fernando, we'll have to see how they go. Ceres was on the board, and they said no. They said they wanted Ying. I mean, we've seen Grok work today. We've seen Grover kind of work today. Ceres has definitely worked, but Ying coming out. So Pip, the only healer to not be chosen yet so far. So that's an interesting one indeed. And Fernando as well. Barak was still on the table, as was, I suppose, Torvald, if they wanted to pick Torvald up. I mean, they hovered Ash. They had options, but Fernando can be reliable. I would have maybe preferred Barak. They have a lot of DPS as it is. So Fernando is understandable, has a lot of shield, and he obviously has a lot of potential to hold point. But Barak has a lot of DPS, so I suppose we'll have to see how it goes. We've seen some miracles today. We've seen some insane Grok heals. We've seen Grover being picked up as a sniper. We've seen some nice combinations. Yeah, perhaps we can see something. I mean, they have the Drogos Fernando together, so Drogos will always hit if he's not going to just run up into the middle of nowhere. So secret strat, potentially. We'll have to see how it goes. We will be in game with you guys very, very shortly. Don't go away.
And another quick reminder, if you've just joined us here on GameStar TV1, welcome in, and make sure you enter the raffle. We've got a bunch of skins to give away, and the way to enter the raffle is to type in !HEYPALL with 2 L's at the end. So make sure you get your entries in, because we're going to be giving away 10 skins tonight. I'm just having a look. We've got 10 of the Taboo Ceres, who seems to be very, very popular. But we do have a bunch of other skins as well. So if you're short a skin, if you're missing a skin, you can let us know what your preference might be if you don't want Taboo Ceres, and we might be able to sort you out. So we've got a bunch of older skins, and just as I say that, it looks like we're loading into the map, so we should be with you in about 10 or 15 seconds with the commentary.
You heard it from Chris. We came back in 10 seconds, and here we are. back to cast this game for you guys. Myself being LeBoy and, of course, Lionberg here.
Howdy.
For the journey. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the casting tonight. We've enjoyed bringing you guys the matches. And, yeah, if you are enjoying it, just say so in chat. Say that you like the casting. Hopefully, there are some things that you guys have liked to clip. We've had some definite plays that you guys might want to watch back on. So go ahead and clip some of them. And yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. Hopefully you guys have been sticking around since the start, and hopefully you will stick to the end. We have some nice matches yet to come, only halfway through the night, as the second match between E6 and Ninja is about to get underway on Frog Isle. We've seen the Ying and Fernando picked up. Lionberg, do you foresee it working for them, or do you perhaps foresee it as a bit of a detriment to Ninja?
I'm not too sure. Haven't seen Ying in a competitive game in a very long time.
So
actually having a look, she has gone with focusing lens, so that's an extra 200 damage if she hits all 5 of her ticks on the target, which is fine. Lifelike isn't really that great at the moment. We're starting the fight on ledge though. Mikoa gets brought down though. Fernando, almost half HP. Shield gets burnt extremely quickly. Nice hit there from Mikoa, but he's also going to get burnt down low. And Evie needs to be so careful here. She's going to get bomb trapped if she's not careful.
There goes Calder with 2 very, very nice picks. Melts the shield straight away. He has Wrecker, and if he goes planted, he outputs loads of DPS, as we see Facehugger getting through for himself. So very, very nice start to the game for E6. Calder and Facehugger with 2 apiece. The only one to not die so far is Strive, and I suppose with the amount of mobility that Drogos has, it's not surprising to see him try and escape as quickly as he can. But a very, very comfortable first start to the match from E6, as Ninja did touch the point quite a little bit beforehand, got 45%, but then, I mean, you can get to 45%, sure, but in the grand scheme of things, if he's just going to get completely wiped straight afterwards and you're going to lose the point, 45 means nothing. As E6 look to pick this up, Members trying to stagger on and just buy themselves time at this point. Strive does get the touch, so it is going to tick down a little longer, trying to get his team in it. Chris Ray does get one back onto Cambo. Facehugger does get Strive quite low. 540 health is on, does get taken down eventually. Chris Ray did get Coup, doing quite nicely here, trying to make the best use of Eevee, as she does have that new buff where her projectile speed is increased. So having to use her quite well is a necessity. 90% though for Ninja, coming back as best they can. E6 having a little fight on the point. Kakacho doing the best he can against Mikoa. Having a little bit of a tank fight right now. Drogos comes in to try to do some damage. Zambi does take Kakacho out eventually, and that looks to be E6 with the first point of the match.
A little bit sloppy there from E6. They were able to get the point in the end, but they didn't push forward. They didn't stagger Ninja. They weren't keeping them away from the point. So it just let Ninja essentially walk back onto the point and regain control. If E6 want to be able to capture those points without hiccups, they need to be making sure they're dishing out damage. They're keeping Ninja back into chokes. And at the moment, they're trying to do that, but they're getting pushed very hard by the tanks on E6.
That is very, very true, because this map, Frog Isle, once you start getting staggered, it is extremely hard to recover from. So if one of these teams wants to take that obvious staggering advantage, then they got to take full advantage of it. They need to capitalize on the picks that they get. Calder here taking one onto King Boo, which means no heals. So they're really going to have to push forward, as it looks like they are kind of trying to. I suppose a few members were low, so Zambi's had to head back. And they need to be a little more aggressive. Facehugger is sitting back. He is a bomb king. He can jump in. He can do a lot of damage behind enemy lines. So if he wants to try and get the D-mounts and he wants to be able to get that flank damage and get that stagger going, he needs to use the poppy and get himself behind. He needs to attack them from multiple angles. That's what he's doing now, actually. Trying to take out King Boo as best as he can, applying a lot of pressure. Micro damage is not too careful. She is very, very low. Bomb King being basically needing to focus down. Looks like he is going to try to, does back out eventually. King Boo still alive. Being able to get his heals out. Maiko down if she is not too careful. Gets stunned, but unfortunately Facehugger couldn't capitalize on the kill. So that is going to be Ninja holding very comfortably right now.
Ninja popping a couple ults there to force E6 back off the point, which is what I like to see. They pop those ults fairly early into the push, but at a critical time where it's just coming around that corner and just passing that choke. So it's really important for Ninja to abuse those ults there and try and get E6 off that point. Using it early allows them to try and rebuild those ults for the next fight. Interesting to see if E6 are going to commit here, or if they're going to try and just build their ults and get ready for the next point fight.
they are in a dangerous choke right now, so they have to either make the decision now, we have to either push for this, or we've got to sit back. We've got to build our ults up. They have to decide now. It's getting too late for them. They are kind of in the middle of trying to take a push and trying to build ults. Shrive actually popping that Drogo's ult, trying to do what he can. Tries to get someone, does manage to take out Makoa eventually. Perhaps didn't need to use it. The only ult they have on the board now is Ying's, as opposed to E6, who sat back and let them acquire the Meldamba, the Bomb King, and the Victor. So we could definitely see a Meldamba and Victor combo, or a Meldamba and Bomb King combo, whereas there isn't a lot that Ninja can do to counter it if they do choose to combine the ultimates. So although they did hold the point, and they do have that one next to their name now, it might cost them, seeing as it looks like E6 have the advantage heading into this next point fight.
Yep, E6 definitely do have the heavy ult advantage, and they should know that the Fernando doesn't have his ult up, so they should know they have free reign to try and get that Meldamba and that BK combo down. Definitely the favor there is to try and get a Meldamba ult off onto perhaps the tanks, followed up with a BK ult, and get those tanks out of your face as fast as you can.
Once they go down, they have a lot of freedom, because that means that Calder can sit back. He doesn't have to fight through shields, and he can just melt them straight away. Hitting planted, he has the range, obviously being a Charlene, can afford to sit back. Ninja actually taking the point quite early, which is odd to see the ults not being popped straight away. Victor, Meldamba, and Bomb King still all holding. Charlene now has his as well, so not seeing the ult pop straight away is a bit of a confusing decision for them. Shrive sitting back, doing the best damage that he can, 84%. They need to touch this right now. They can't give this point up to Ninja straight away. There goes Facehugger trying to come in, comes in clutch on 99%, throws the coming down, buys them time. The ults are coming out eventually. Zambi does get one. The Victor ult was popped as well. Charlene's was. Bomb King and Meldamba have still held their ults. Why have they done that? That is a huge detriment to them. Ninja looks so comfortable and say they can afford to pop the Ruckus ult. They have plenty of time to build it back. There is no reason for them not to use ults now. Javex did get two, and that is going to be a point for Ninja. Why on earth did E6 hold on to those ults? They didn't need to. They had the advantage.
They really stuffed that up. They held onto their ults too long, and they needed to pop those ults at the start and then work towards staggering the enemy team. The fact that they held onto those ults for so long meant that Ninja were able to position themselves onto the point, build up their own ults, so that when E6 eventually did use their ultimates, Ninja had answers for them, which at the start of the round, they didn't. So going forward, E6 need to be very conscious of that, popping their ults at the start and gaining that position right from the very start.
Ninja played it well. They had the ult disadvantage, and they probably knew that. So the aggression that they showed definitely paid off. They forced them back, and I suppose scared them out of using their ults, seeing as once they're forced back, they need to try and find a spot where they can ult. They don't want to just jump in while Ninja have the point advantage. So I suppose sitting back was something that they had to do, although it could have very easily been avoided had they just used their ult straight up off the bat. They do look quite comfortable on this defense though. Again, Meldamba and Bomb King still haven't ulted, and in that same time, Charlene has not only built up his ult, but he's ready. He used it. I think he had maybe 80 or so heading into the first fight. He used it, and now he has it again. In the same time span, Meldamba and Bomb King still are sitting on 100%. They are just wasting time with the ults at the moment. They could pop them now and still have them next fight, but if they are, they're going to have to do it very, very soon. Their time management is key with the ultimates right now.
That's very true. Ninja's positioning, trying to get past this choke point at the moment, isn't looking too great. They really need to send a Ruckus onto ledge, push up behind E6, and try and take out their backline. A Victor, a Bomb King, anything. Right now, they're all trying to push through the front and onto that cart, but E6 are just hugging it so hard, so as soon as Ninja walk around that corner, there is tons of damage blowing up in their face, and they don't know how to deal with it. Those Grumpy Bombs are wreaking havoc right now.
Grumpy Bomb's doing a lot, and obviously, I'd say that the resilience might need to be picked up. Caristre has taken it, but Charlene can stun. Victor can't. I mean, I suppose no, he doesn't really stun. I mean, he doesn't have anything that can, but Makoa and Meldamba and Bomb King can all have that stunning effect. So resilience is one that they really need to consider into taking. I mean, obviously Cauterize is very, very important. Shrive actually wasting the ultimate there. Tried to force them back. Bought time, but I suppose that's all he really did with it. Might go down, does go down. Very nice pin from Salva and followed up by hitting that planter. Chris Ray did get one as Makoa has the ult pop. Believe Zambi ulted as well. Finally managing to use it. Devek might down if he's not too careful. And this looks to hopefully be a hold from E6 after messing up that initial attack. So they do get the hold and 2-2 the scoreboard right now. But looking at the ults, Ying has hers, Ruckus has his, so that is automatically going to be an advantage as opposed to the Victor solo ult for E6. They are not in a comfortable position right now. Ninja can very easily take this next point.
Definitely not. Ninja's ult management this game has looked a lot better than E6's. Popping the BK ult and the Makoa ult at the end there, not sure if it was 100% necessary. As soon as BK ulted, the Fernando ulted and just soaked up all the damage. No one got killed.
5, 4,
interesting
3,
choice here,
2,
but
1.
the Ruckus and the Ying ult very influential in this next fight. Ruckus needs to make sure he can get himself in a position where he can do as much damage as possible. Try and take out those tanks on the front line, the Makoa on the front line, or try and get a flank, go up behind the BK, go up behind the Charlene, and you can do a lot of damage.
The Ying ult getting popped to try and keep their team alive, which this means that Victor now has a lot of freedom with his ult. There's nothing to stop it. There's no Ying ult to grant healing. There's no Fernando ult to shield. Victor needs to use his ult very effectively. Does use it now. Does take out Shrive, so gets one kill with it. I'd say it's a decent trade. Calder popped his as well and took out Javek, so 2 ults, 2 kills. Looking decent. Zambi did go down. Cambo answers back though, taking out Kakacho. And at the moment, E6 looking quite dominant on the point. They need to start pushing up. This is when they need to get their stagger going. They're sitting too far back. They need to act immediately. They need to start dismounting. They need to do their best. Chris Ray did jump in and get 1 kill onto Cambo. Facehugger is backing off. He needs to be more aggressive. He should have acted a lot sooner. It gave them time, and that's what they used. Javek had the time to get on point. He ulted, and he got 2 kills out of it. Zambi went down, which means no heals, and that is a straight waste from E6. They had the advantage. All they had to do was push up. A nice retake there from Ninja.
That's exactly right. Ninja did exactly what they needed to there. Evie jumping in, popping her ult, managing to get the kill onto Victor was really great. E6 need to know that if they're in this position where they have control of the point, they need to look to shut Ninja out of it. And they have failed to do that twice this game. And as a result, Ninja have managed to recapture the point twice. And right now, they're getting a lot of free cart push.
It is very, very bad luck for E6. And they need to start acting on it. They have to acknowledge their mistakes ASAP, or else they're going to keep getting screwed over by the same mistakes over and over. Minute 45 on the clock, and by the looks of things, Ninja could almost take this game. If they play well for the rest of the match, they could very easily do it. Right now, E6 have made the defense, but Ninja knows that E6 aren't the best at getting that steamroll going. They haven't... See, look, they are all sitting on the payload. We can see it right now. They're not even trying to get demounts. I mean, they have kind of pushed up, but they're not applying pressure. If they want to defend it, apply some pressure. Fight in the middle at least. Don't sit all the way back. We can easily just get jumped on. That's what's happening right now. Strive is doing a load of damage. Cambo did get 1 kill back. Took Strive out eventually. But by the looks of things, if E6 wants to try hold this, they need to be way more aggressive.
Yep. And then ult again coming out from Ninja, really good. They got a couple picks there and they knew, alright, this is our chance. We can push the cart here. They pop the Fernando ult there to soak a lot of the damage, make sure no one gets taken out. And right now, Ninja are doing what E6 should have done. Fernando is in their backline. He's just camping on the Victor, taking him out. And Ninja are going to take out the game.
That was very, very nice from them, although less than impressive from E6. I don't want to say they played badly, because they're not a bad team, but that was just a poor performance. They're not a bad team by any means, but that was definitely not one of their best games. They had a few moments. They were good at getting the defense and getting the initial retakes, but once you have the retake, you need to capitalize straight away. Okay, you got to sit there. You got to say, guys, we have the point. We're not going to sit around and just let them come to us. We have to be aggressive, which they didn't do. Their comms, they need to just work on those points. I mean, yes, they can get from A to B, but once they've hit B, you need to think about C instantly, which they didn't do. They got point, but they sat there for too long, and I believe that is the reason why Ninja took this quite comfortably, I'd like to say, 4-2. So that was, I mean, still behind in terms of points compared to E6. E6 won the first map 4-1, and then obviously Ninja came back with the 4-2. So not in terms of points, but definitely their morale is high, and E6 not looking the best, which will be the next matchups between Vextrum and between E6. Looking at the scoreboards, though, Lionberg, give us a rundown and some potential man of the match candidates.
Kakacho actually doing a fair amount of damage. He did die a lot, though. 10 times is a ton. I liked what he was doing throughout the match. He was trying to get into the backline and do as much damage as he could. And at the start of round 2, it was actually really influential to their success there. However, Calder and Zed, 107k damage on the Charlene, though most of that damage is probably coming from shooting the Fernando shield. Honestly, the Ruckus did really great. I'm actually pretty impressed there. 71k damage. He's rivaling Atrogo's damage, which is a blast shield. I'm not sure if Ruckus deserves MVP, but he did actually impress me quite there. And the healing on Ying, 112k. Not really what I expected from Ying, to be honest.
Ying did die the least, apart from Facehugger on the Bomb King, but Facehugger didn't really have the greatest of games. Yes, he did some decent damage. He picked up 7 kills and 11 assists, but 5 deaths, meaning that, I mean, his scoreboard, his stats don't shine, which means that he wasn't shining as a player. He wasn't getting behind. He wasn't doing the damage he needed to do. He got the least amount of credits throughout the whole match. I know the credit system is a little bit dodgy, but, I mean, they reflect something. They are there for a reason, and I suppose he didn't have the best of games. But yeah, as you said, King Boo on the Ying, nice healing. Javek had quite a good game on the Ruckus. Charisra as well did really, really well on the Eevee. Picked up 69k damage and had the most kills of the game. But if you're happy with the decision, I'd probably say that Javek on the Ruckus does deserve the man of the match.
I'm very happy with that. He played excellently.
Well done to Javek for taking that man of the match for the second actually between E6 and Ninja. So the next matchup, as I said, will be Vextrum and E6. Hopefully we have some close games. Looking forward to bringing that to you guys. We will be right back with it very, very shortly. Don't go away, guys.